Close to Veterans Day, and I got an email from Vivian Young in Jacksonville, and I had to say, Miss Young, you are right, and I'm gonna fix it. Vivian said, thank you for your Vietnam documentary. So glad you were honoring Vietnam veterans. We watched it, but you left out something. A disaster that changed the Navy, a fire on the USS Forrestal, and she said her husband was on board.
I heard something say, beep, boom. I saw me and body parts flying over. Some guy was walking and then the head fell off the body and all.
56 years ago, and it still haunts him. Does he have nightmares? Does he?
Oh, yes.
His wife knows in the dark of the night.
I have to calm him down, and then he'll just sit there and just sob.
Griffin Young is proud he's a Navy veteran.
I have 46 years of evidence right here. Evidence of serving our country.
And what a delightful sense of humor.
And how old are you, may I ask?
I am about 35 now.
Oh, you're 35 and you were 36 last year?
Yes,
right? Okay.
yes, ma'am.
I love you, you are great. But all the smiles vanish when we talk about the Forrestal.
It was something I would never forget. I would never forget.
Historian Dr. Michael Butler at Flagler College.
It was one of the deadliest non-combat related days in U.S. Navy history, and it totally revised the way that the Navy trained sailors to this day.
This video produced by the Navy from that day on the ship.
Let's go back now to July 29, 1967. The time is 13:51 and counting. There, on deck. Somehow a Zuni rocket has been triggered, roaring across the flight deck and hitting an A-4 Skyhawk.
Fire! 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 Fire on a flight deck! Fire on a flight deck! All hands, man your battle stations! All hands, man your battle stations!
The fire spread to his shipmates below deck.
They were asleep. Someone was in the shower. Some guy they found the water was still running. And I mean, they were just burnt like Chris, like a piece of fried skin.
The chaos and the mistakes.
Only untrained men would spray water across a foam blanket that was doing its job.
They were using seawater to try to put out the fire, so the seawater was actually putting out the fire retardant.
The lack of training on pieces of key equipment.
Some of the men actually had to stop and read the instructions before they could use them.
The Navy using this disaster, a fire at sea,
You can't run away from it. There's nowhere to go.
in training videos, so it never happens again.
Learn or burn, baby.
But for Griffin, it's way more than a catastrophe in naval history. How did he even survive?
I think it's divine intervention.
And Vivian?
And when you picture him on that day, yeah, I can see the look on your face.
I am extremely proud of him.
And after all the trauma on the Forrestal, Griffin tells me he's like too many Vietnam vets.
When you got back from Vietnam, did people applaud you? Did they thank you?
No, ma'am. Not at all.
So now we honor Griffin Young, United States Navy Reconnaissance Attack Squadron survivor, USS Forrestal, Vietnam.
I am ecstatic. I am ecstatic.
A very proud wife, and she should be. Now, when that fire broke out, the USS Forrestal was in the Gulf of Tonkin during the Vietnam War. That was 1967. And you can watch Voices of Bravery, our panel discussion, and our documentary honoring local Vietnam vets. It's streaming now on First Coast News Plus, on Roku, and Fire TV.